That's essentially from Taylor Swift's music video, You Belong With Me.
She didn't look like anyone Hollywood had ever seen. A face that felt both ancient and futuristic, hypnotic eyes, fragile features, and a presence so strange it was almost supernatural. But behind that otherworldly beauty was a girl who once refused to speak English. A girl who felt so painfully out of place that she hid inside books, mirrors, and imaginary worlds just to survive. So how did that girl, a lonely outsider drifting between countries, cultures, and identities, transform into one of the most magnetic young icons on Earth? How did she go from being bullied for her weird face to becoming the actress who redefined elegance, mystery, and raw emotional power for an entire generation? This is the untold journey of Anya Taylor-Joy, the girl who never fit in, until Hollywood realized it needed someone who didn't. Anya Josephine Marie Taylor-Joy was born in Miami in 1996. But her story didn't begin in America. It began in the warm, vibrant streets of Buenos Aires. She was the youngest of 6 children in a multicultural family, a British-Argentine father, a Spanish-English mother, and a home filled with music, literature, and constant movement. In Argentina, Anya felt free. She ran barefoot through gardens, spoke rapid-fire Spanish, and believed the world was a place where imagination ruled. But everything changed when she was 6. Her family relocated to London, a decision that would alter the course of her entire life. Suddenly, the sunshine was gone, replaced by gray skies and unfamiliar faces. Her Spanish accent made her stand out. Kids mocked her, isolated her, and made school feel like a battlefield. The bullying became so intense that Anya did something unimaginable. She refused to learn English for 2 years, convinced that if she ignored the new world, maybe she could return to the old one. She retreated inward, building private worlds in her head, worlds where she could be someone else, somewhere else, untouched by judgment. Those imaginary universes would one day become the foundation of her acting. But at the time, they were simply a shield, protecting a little girl who felt invisible. Anya's escape from loneliness didn't come from school. It came from the streets of London. One afternoon at just 16 years old, she was walking her dog when a talent scout stopped her in front of a supermarket. Her unusual features, the wide-set eyes, the porcelain skin, the magnetic stare, made her unforgettable. Overnight, she was signed as a model, but modeling wasn't her dream. Standing still for cameras felt empty. What she really wanted was to step into the characters she had created in her mind. Since childhood, to live inside stories instead of just posing for them. So Anya made a bold decision. She quit school, sacrificed a normal life, and chased acting with everything she had. The early roles were small, a few seconds in Vampire Academy, a brief appearance in the series Endeavor, a tiny part in Viking Quest. She was barely seen, but every casting director who met her remembered her. Then came the audition that changed everything. A 24 took a chance on an unknown teenager with a haunting presence and cast her in The Witch 2015. The performance was mesmerizing, unsettling, hypnotic, impossible to ignore. Sundance exploded. Critics called her a revelation. For the first time, the world finally saw what Anya had felt all along. She didn't fit in, because she was built to stand out. After The Witch launched her into the spotlight, Hollywood suddenly had its eyes on a new kind of star, ethereal, unpredictable, and impossible to categorize. But Anya wasn't an overnight sensation. She was a force quietly gathering momentum. Her next major leap came with Split 2016, where she held her ground against James McAvoy in one of the decade's most intense psychological thrillers. Audiences were stunned. She wasn't just a rising actress, she was a presence, commanding the screen with quiet strength and emotional depth far beyond her age. By the time she returned for Glass 2019, she had already proven she belonged in the mainstream. But Anya refused to be boxed into a single genre. She transformed again in Emma 2020, playing a sharp, elegant version of Jane Austen's classic heroine. It showcased something people hadn't fully seen before: her charm, wit, and comedic precision. Critics praised her versatility. She could be haunting, regal, or mischievous at will. Then came the explosion. The Queen's Gambit 2020 wasn't just a hit, it was a global phenomenon. Her portrayal of Beth Harmon was electric, vulnerable yet untouchable, broken yet brilliant. The series topped Netflix worldwide, revived the entire chess industry, and inspired millions of young girls. Awards followed: Golden Globe, SEGI Award, countless nominations. Brands chased her. Dior chose her as a global ambassador. Magazine covers multiplied. Directors lined up. Hollywood no longer saw Anya Taylor-Joy as a rising star. She had become the face of a new cinematic generation, a symbol of elegance, mystery, and fearless transformation. At 24, she wasn't just famous. She was undeniable. For all her rising fame, Anya Taylor-Joy quickly learned that Hollywood never lets anyone soar without trying to pull them back down. And for her, the attacks came from a place more personal than she ever expected. As her face appeared in more films and more magazines, critics began obsessing over her looks, the very features that made her unique. Online commenters called her too strange, too alien, not Hollywood enough. Some tabloids mocked her wide-set eyes, while others questioned whether she could ever be a true leading lady. The scrutiny was relentless. For a girl who had once been bullied for looking different, it was a wound reopened on a global scale. Her projects weren't spared either. The New Mutants became embroiled in controversy, criticized heavily for production issues and tone-deaf decisions. Though Anya wasn't responsible for those choices, she still absorbed the backlash, with fans debating her casting and performance. Later in the menu, some questioned whether she was being typecast into quirky outsider roles, prompting discussions about her range and the industry's treatment of unconventional beauty. But the harshest challenges came from within. Years of non-stop filming, sudden fame, and public pressure left Anya battling exhaustion and emotional burnout. She spoke openly about loneliness, admitting she often felt like an outsider with a spotlight. Relationships became tabloid fodder. Every rumored partner, every breakup, every moment of vulnerability twisted into headlines. As the world celebrated her rise, she wrestled with the same shadows from her childhood, not fitting in, not belonging, not being enough. Yet it was precisely these storms, the criticism, the doubts, the isolation, that began shaping the woman she would become. The comeback was coming, and she would emerge stronger, stranger, and more unforgettable than ever. After years of navigating criticism and emotional exhaustion, Anya Taylor-Joy made a choice that would redefine her entire career. She stopped trying to fit Hollywood's expectations and instead leaned fully into her own unconventional identity. Her transformation began with stronger, bolder roles. In Last Night in Soho, she embodied a haunting mixture of glamour and tragedy, proving she could carry both elegance and darkness within a single performance. Then came The Menu, showcasing her razor-sharp intensity and quiet defiance, a reminder that she wasn't just a unique face, but a powerhouse of emotional precision. But the real turning point arrived with Furiosa 2024. Cutting her hair short, pushing her body through brutal stunt training, and diving headfirst into George Miller's dystopian universe, Anya shattered every preconception about her. She wasn't an ethereal doll or a mysterious outsider anymore. She had become a warrior, fierce, resilient, unstoppable. Off-screen, she grew into a more grounded, mature version of herself. She embraced philanthropy, supported mental health causes, and became a symbol of authenticity in an industry obsessed with perfection. Interviews revealed a woman who was no longer afraid of her differences, but proud of them. This was the rebirth of Anya Taylor-Joy, a comeback not built on apology but on power. Today, Anya Taylor-Joy stands as one of the most distinctive voices of her generation, an artist who proved that beauty, talent, and power don't come from fitting the mold, but from breaking it. Her influence stretches far beyond the screen. She revived the global fascination with chess, reshaped fashion with her fearless style, and inspired countless young people who grew up feeling different, strange, or unseen. Anya became a symbol of what happens when you stop hiding your uniqueness and start embracing it. Hollywood now looks at her not as an anomaly, but as a blueprint, proof that the future belongs to those who dare to be unconventional. She didn't just survive the industry. She reshaped its standards. Anya Taylor-Joy's journey is a reminder that the world doesn't reward perfection, it rewards authenticity. She is living proof that the traits once used against us can become our greatest strengths. If her story moved you, don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more powerful Hollywood stories.